So, we will call together the Policy and Budget Committee, general review.
All set, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Approval of minutes of the 19th of June. Any changes? Not, they'll be accepted as printed. Public input? No. Administrative file attachments, policy and budget minute documents. I got that. Fiscal year 18 update.
Yes, we will have to be closing your books probably on Friday. There appears to be nothing amiss, and you're going to hit your target for unreserved fund balance. So a lot of the districts are closed. You're just a lot more volume. So the numbers are due to the state on September 1st. So Dan told me that he expects to have it all wrapped up, and I will send you an email telling you what the final number is.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Mark?
No.
17, 18? Budget year?
Yeah.
Up to you if you want.
Student handbook changes.
Yes, you have what Sam,
What are you reading?
I'm reading the agenda.
policy and budget agenda. It's in the packet. There's 3 subcommittees and
Yeah, I don't think it was on the original.
I don't
because
see
I don't have
student
it.
handbook.
Tuesday, August
Says drug
21st,
and alcohol
2018,
Right.
Policy and
yeah,
Budget
that's in
Committee.
the student handbook.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, you know, I got that, but
It's drug and alcohol.
It's drug and alcohol,
which
that's
is
what you're
part
going
of the
after.
student handbook.
Oh, all right,
That's what
that
it is.
changes are. No, I was reading here, it says drug and alcohol, and you're reading something else. Okay, good.
Well, it is in the it's contained in the student
Gotcha,
handbook.
gotcha.
And you have the whole Sam wanted you to see the entire handbook, but we're gonna be focusing on 2 things, the drug and alcohol policy and also the captains and leaders of co-curricular. In some of the agendas, the shortened form was there on the agenda, but also as an attachment and as a handout for you is the complete handbook. Okay?
Okay. So, we had to Sam's epistle. If you were in Hampton for the summer meeting, we went over this, and now they digested it again. Did you make any changes other than those few?
No, everything that you talked about at your August meeting has been, July meeting has been incorporated.
Okay. So I've gone through it, and my question, I guess one of my remaining questions, if nobody else has any, was he'd taken out, and he must have discussed this, and involvement in co-curricular activities is coming out completely.
Yeah.
Going to deal with that in the co-curricular?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
that makes sense. And that's it, I guess, for that. My questions on that. Anyone else have any questions of the proposed changes to the Pemmy Baker School District policy on drug and alcohol education and abuse grades?
Don't have a question, but a comment, if I could, Ron.
Yeah.
Sitting with the administration, it was certainly, I wouldn't say given a take, but everyone had input into what's here, so it's fully supported by the administrators, Jim, Todd, and Randy. It was good to have their input into it. I think it's a better document than what was there, so for what that's worth.
Okay, so we've changed more.
Don't be crapping on this document too much, because I helped write it 30 years ago.
Hey, Rob.
Along with Bob Foley and a couple of other people years ago.
30 years ago. Real nitpick,
Yeah.
doesn't amount to anything, but number 5, why do they keep changing shall to will when
Oh,
shall
because
is
shall is a
stronger?
command, and he
Yeah,
wants
shall
them
is stronger.
he wants them to have some little bit of
softer word.
flexibility.
Okay, okay.
Anything else? All those in favor of moving this on to the full board tonight? please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Contrary minded, all right. That goes on to the full board, and now we're on to student activities. We've gone over this, Mark, and I have forgotten it?
Yes.
Okay,
Phil, you handle this in your committee too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because this is where Sam,
okay,
Ross, this is where Sam put the other stuff.
all right.
It's in
Good,
there,
thank
so
you.
this is easier to
Oh,
see.
okay, thank you.
So it maintains the two events, first and second offense. Changes slightly the penalties. And deals with our captains and class and club officers policy. Has he do you know whether he's updated his co-curricular organizations, or should it be?
Oh, the list?
Yeah.
I think it's been updated.
Okay.
It has.
Yep.
Any other corrections, additions, suggestions, questions regarding the student activities policy, I guess we're calling it? Are you ready tonight, or do you want to put it off for a month?
If we could do it tonight, that would be great.
Okay?
Move on forward to the
Full
full board.
Okay,
Approval.
seconded, all those in favor, say aye. Contrary minded. Okay, that takes care of the policies. Now, are we doing anything with this big handbook, Mark, or are we all set on
Just
that?
a general approval for the handbook. There've just been a couple of grammatical things. Bruce, did
No
you-
substantive changes to it?
No, they're not, no real changes.
Okay. So this is one we've been working with and just cleaned it up where it needed to be cleaned up?
Yes.
All right. Phil makes a motion that this be sent to the full board,
Right?
and Peter seconds it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That goes to the full board. All right. Other business,
I have none, Mr. Chairman.
future meetings.
It'll be September 18th.
9/18. We stand adjourned.
Any changes to the agenda?
No, Madam Chair.
All right. Approval to approve the minutes from June 19th. Can I hear a motion from, let's see, who's on this committee? We got Barb on this committee, Ross, Walter, Bernie, Christie, and...
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Bernie, second by Walter, great. Okay, update on the CTE project.
Sort of the code word is slow but steady. There were a lot of, like any renovation project and with construction from the 80s, there were some surprises and a couple disappointments, but I do want to give great credit to CCI. They've rolled with every punch that's been thrown their way with class and dignity and nothing but full-scale effort. Also to John Francis and Amy, they've been doing yeoman's work down there. It's coming. It looks messy right now, but it's actually coming together as we speak. The focus right now is on finishing up all the work we're doing in the main building. And later on, Bruce will walk you through the main building. And so we're trying to get the cafeteria and broadcasting and digital arts and drafting all squared away. So that's the piece that we're getting squared away along with the teacher's room. And then the outside, the painting of the building, so it blends nicely with it won't look like an orphan with a brand new building. And I think the whole thing is going to come together very nice. And so later again, we'll go down to the far end of the north wing. That's where we put some test experiments up to see it in the sunlight and in the shade. So you can take a look at what that color ended up being. Went through a lot of patches over on the back side, and like any project, you look and go, oh, that's not going to work. So we're pretty happy with that. The exterior, the front of the CTE building, the walkway has been ripped up, all that old concrete, as we begin to restructure the front of that. The old, I don't know if you noticed, the old lettering on the building is gone, and the new lettering will go up. It's a more of a bronze color lettering that will go up as soon as the building is painted. So it's been a long haul, but it will come together. We, in September, on the CTE side of the building, we'll do a phased-in occupancy, working with Chief Clogston and getting his permission to inhabit the spaces. But we'll start probably from the 3rd floor down. That's the target, that the special ed facility will be done first. Then we'll come in. The last 2 areas that will really be done will be culinary arts and autos. Those will be the last 2 of the areas. So there will be an impact later on in the agenda. Madam Chair, Bruce will talk to you about where some programs are going to go. But there will be, so between now and Columbus Day, there'll be, kids will be moving around a little bit, but they'll roll with the punches, and I think that they'll be very pleased with the facility when it's all done. So it's been quite a ride, but really good people have been working on this project. So, Bruce, you want to add to that?
No, I'll do it under the other part.
When are the kids coming in?
The 4th.
They come back on the 4th, Tuesday after Labor Day, here at the high school. The elementaries will begin next Monday, except for Thornton, and Thornton will begin on Tuesday of next week. Following Tuesday is when your students come for classes, but probably 50% of them are already here, being involved in athletics and other things. So, and the kids have been great in terms of following parking and where to walk and where not to walk.
Have you heard any ETA on the road, Highland Street, when that's supposed to be ready?
I know what the general public knows, and that is that it should be done by the end of August. So I'm expecting that when the high school kids come to Plymouth, that they will come right up Highland Street. All of the teachers for tomorrow, all the elementary teachers will be reporting to Plymouth Elementary School. They'll all be coming in off of exit 26 and Tenny Mountain Highway. And the high school buses, we'll work with the town of Plymouth. Everyone sort of knows their way around here, so I'm not too concerned about that. But we're hoping that they hit that. I know that there's been a couple snags on a portion of Highland Street, but I'm hoping that they hit their target. They worked on the weekend, so that was a good sign. They were out there working, because Highland Street was closed on Saturday and a portion of Sunday, I think. So they were there working.
Okay, any other questions about that? All right, so trees on campus.
Yes, we found some of our trees have just, they've diseased in some areas. There's not a wholesale blight, but what we did at the same time that we have been doing the building is to walk around, and Jim Blake has done a good job identifying some of the trees that need to be weeded out to allow the health. And we have, one tree is diseased and the next one is perfectly healthy, so we're getting that out. So
How many trees?
just as of right now, about 1.5, to be honest with you. They're
That's
trying. It's a half sounds a little fun, but
Let you guys from Lynn and Revere run the trees, we're in trouble, okay?
look around you. There's a lot of trees.
Not as many as there used to be.
But we just obviously don't want any of it falling on somebody, because you can see around town sometimes these storms leave.
Yeah.
It's those sick and wounded trees that drop the branches and stuff. The healthy ones usually are fine. So I just wanted to make you, if someone says, I think a tree is missing, it could be missing, but no.
That look down over the hill from Highland Street has really turned out terrific. It's done a nice job.
It's really pretty.
Each year it just grows in more and
Yeah.
gets greener.
So I just wanted to keep you abreast of that. But Jim Blake has done a nice job taking a look at all those trees.
Okay, great. Athletic field use and parking areas?
Yeah, the fields will be ready to go for all of our sports. It's going to be parking and getting to games, but we're working with CCI, and we will fence walking areas so people can safely get to all the events. The parking will be up here. There'll be no parking down below, obviously, but there'll be parking up there, but there will be areas for folks to walk through, and they will be handicapped accessible too. So I think we have everyone covered. Football, people that need to can still swing around the backside and come in, and that won't change at all. So I think it'll be relatively normal. The tailgating area will be closed for the first couple games, and that's that parking lot down below. So they'll have to, again, on those football games, they have access to these lots and also to Plymouth Elementary School is wide open. So they're not that big of games that we won't have parking. Everybody should be able to be fine. They may have to walk a little further, that's all.
Great, thank you. Any other questions about the parking? Okay. And we don't have non-public.
No, there's nothing. Just, we'll show you around after the meeting, not in a formal way, any informal. Bruce and I will take you around, and also I do want you to see the building color.
Okay, and our next meeting is September 18th.
Yes.
Great. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Someone on the committee, Kathy.
Second.
Thanks. Great.
Program and staffing, and we will open the meeting. Agenda review and disposition.
All set.
Okay, approval of the minutes. Unless there are objections, we will approve as written. Updates of program locations for a few weeks.
Bruce?
Yes, Madam Chair. As the superintendent just took you through a lot of the CTE renovation plans, we've put into place some of the areas that need to be covered till the renovations are completed. One of the areas that is affected is health occupations. That area, the room that health occupation was in, that's going to be athletic storage, and that's going to be the office of the new athletic director and a conference area. But in the back is where we're going to be using athletic storage, because we had a whole area for that. We're going to open up Mary Raymond's classes, Health Oc 1 and 2 will be in back of that. I can show you tonight when we just do a quick walkthrough. It's temporary, and part of Mark's speech. We're hoping that third floor comes a lot quicker than, obviously, floors 2 and 1. So I anticipate getting the third floor somewhere between mid-September. But if it doesn't, we're more than capable of handling the health occupation areas and where I'm going to show you. Autos will stay in room 207. It's right up here in the main floor. It's next door to our art room. They were there when I took them out in March. They will be on a computer program, a simulated program. There's also a number of machines in there, models in there. But that program I anticipate will be the last to go into their facility. So they came out of there in June. They'll go back in June. They can handle the numbers of the kids. It's just they will not have that lab piece.
So they'll be in this room for the year.
Not for the year. Not for the year. I wouldn't even want to contemplate giving you a date.
Okay. All right.
But
Temporarily.
no, temporarily. They'll be in that room temporarily.
They'll be the last ones in,
Yeah.
though. I suspect it'd be
Them and
somewhere
culinary.
around Veterans Day,
Yep.
to
Okay.
be very honest about it.
Yep. And I'm even hoping, well, it would be nice if we can go after Q2, which is when we get back from the Thanksgiving break, would work in just fine. Culinary is down in room 131. If you've been at a football game coming in using the men's and ladies' room, there's a room right there. Again, they're on a simulated program, a computer program. We'll be able to do our Serve Safe program. A lot of that, the career tech people work on their safety skills the first quarter. Hopefully I'll be able to accomplish a lot of that. But they came in that room in March, and they'll open there in September. So she knows that. The two big rooms that we're anticipating that need to be ready up and going on September 4th is the communication multimedia broadcasting. It's in real great shape as we speak. They've completed the rug in that piece. They're finishing up on a lot of the equipment before we move the furniture in. That is our new multimedia program. The teacher is Mrs. McLean. She took you through a lot of her curriculum as we go through. Her numbers are pretty big too, so that is a big area. I do have, if it's not ready for that first week, I do have a room I can move those kids temporarily if I had to, but I don't anticipate that. And then the 3 drafting rooms that you're going to see, they're in that new space that used to be the industrial arts, technology ed, woodworking, basic woodworking, and metals. I think you'll be thrilled to see those 3 rooms. I'm going to be using the middle room. It's called the Maker's Room. It's part of that drafting and computer programming. It's a middle room that they have this funky machinery that does the plastics and different computer parts. The first part of the month until marketing is up and ready to go, I'm going to house marketing in that main room, in that middle room. And so the numbers can handle it. Obviously, we will not have the school store, but again, we anticipate that, as Mark said, somewhere in November. They were downstairs in the main floor at the end of the year. He'll be comfortable. It's a brand new room. It's gorgeous, and he'll be comfortable there. He'll be doing a lot of classroom work rather than opening this store. Special ed. A majority of our special ed is throughout the whole building, anyways. But our program, the program that you guys know is Transitions. It has about 35 about 18, 19 students, and maybe 16 adults with that program. It takes care of some of our these kids are getting completers. They were on the 3rd floor before. I moved them, if you know, last year, before we did our project, we moved them to the teacher's room. A little crowded, a little cramped. We're gonna move them down to the north wing, 109. It's where they originally were about 15 years ago. I'll go back that far. 109 has a nice bathroom down in there that they can use. And I'm also going to use the north wing teacher's room. I will show you tonight when I take you down there. Again, that should be on a temporary basis. I suspect we'll be in the 3rd floor, somewhere in the middle of the 3rd week of maybe that 4th week of September. But that room really needs to be complete before we move some of those kids, because I can't be moving them back and forth. It has to be done. Some of the special rooms I'm using on the 3rd floor, those kids will remain there. I'm going to keep them there in 301, in 303, in 304. We'll keep those there until the 3rd floor is completely done to make it a smooth transition. Tanya and Kathy Howard will continue working on the 3rd floor in 303, which means I lost 3 classrooms, but those are classrooms I can pick up. The teachers will be on a cart. They'll travel. Not every teacher gets to have their own classroom. It's an ideal setting. When the building is complete, they all will. 2 of the teachers moved last year, so they know, they've already been forewarned that their classes will be in motion this year too. And hopefully that should be temporary. And I'll take you through on that and show you that. The scheduling, I've made 2 schedules. So, one with this plan I just gave you in, because those numbers will change. As I get these rooms back, we'll have to create another schedule to move those out with the numbers of the rooms and all that. There are some new areas of hallways that the kids won't be used to. We'll take them through what hopefully what a tour will look like on the 4th. The 4th will be a funky day, because it'll be new for a lot of kids, because there are areas they can go in, there are other areas they can't be in. And I don't know if I'll have all my cameras up and working on that place, but we'll take our time as we get through. But we're
When
great.
you're talking about schedules, what are you referring to?
I'm talking about the individual student schedules with their room numbers on them. They will change.
All right,
They will change. The sophomores, juniors, and seniors, they,
okay.
you know, freshmen get a little funky because, you know, once they get, you know, they're a little nervous coming in. So
Okay.
we'll have to take them through some of their changes. Teachers come back next Wednesday, so they have 2 full days. We have freshman orientation on Thursday, so the school should be in a lot, you know, on a week, we should be in a lot cleaner state, especially with that cafeteria. Getting that cafeteria will be a big piece too, coming down there. It's been a busy, as Mark said, working with CCI has been an enjoyable piece. We meet with them every week to go through, I mean, every little nitty-ditty thing that we have to go through, we'll go through. And we try to be as accommodating as can be with the teachers. The teachers have been great staying out of the building. As Mark said, yeah, we have, you know, it's in full swing. This will be a little different for me this year. The fact is that, you know, I have so many games that are going on and I haven't met the kids yet. But I've gone out to different practices and on that just to let them know that, you know, we're here. You know, there'll be football games that open, the school won't be here. A couple of soccer games, field hockey, boys and girls soccer, cross country. So numbers are good, but then the kids have been, as Mark said, very accommodating going on with the construction.
Okay.
Any questions? Yes, sir.
Questions for Bruce?
No, my only question goes to follow up on Mark's issue. How's the money doing?
Money's doing fine. Yeah, we touched a little bit on our contingency, but so far it's been great. We've had some savings and been able to apply it to some other things. We had some cost overruns in some areas, but they have not been significant. So John and Dan are very comfortable with the budget right now. Cash flow has been excellent, and the state on their end has been very good in following up on our vouchers that go down there, so.
And one piece, if I may, Mr. Allen, we had the good fortune of entertaining the CTE out of the state. They had their conference up here in Plymouth University last week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They had close to, I think, 250 people from around the state. And part of their conference, a lot of the teachers in these regional centers and some of the people who work in the prisons that come under that department, we ran 4 tours. Randy would pick them up and bring them down. Approximately 90 to 100 people I took through this building, you know, from Salem, from Londonderry. It was nice to see. They were pretty impressed of what we have accomplished and you know how we put our resources to good use, and asking us questions in regards with, you know, what are some important factors they go through. And one of the pieces I said, well, you know, staying in close contact with both your architect and the CCI was very, very important. So you're well abreast of what they're doing, and they're both on the same page. We're all on the same page.
One of the interesting things that Bruce picked up was they were amazed at our integration of CTE with regular ed, as they call it. And a lot of folks have a hard time fathoming that we don't have a specific administrative suite for the CTE folks and all of that. But as Bruce said, when they walk through the facility and then they see there are no CTE kids and there are no regular kids, there are just our kids, and they're just in classes, then they begin to get it. When they're done with the whole thing, they really begin to get it. So it's, you know, you guys blessed that experiment 20-something years ago, and I think it's done well.
Yeah, they wanted to know how, you know, especially having special ed where it was on the 3rd floor, and I had to remind them. I mean, you know, obviously we'd been here a long time, both of us. I said in the old days, you know, that was part of the vocational program, and there was some many heavy hitters from the state here, and I did remind them. I said, that was part of your your program, so they were part of the original building. Phil's shaking his head. He knows that, 1983.
Yeah.
So, you know, we did not move them. But yet we had to pay for that piece. Where we got, you know, a reprieve from them is, you know, we have career tech programs in your part of the building, in the mainframe, that they did not have piece to. Drafting, Health Hawk, multimedia, that space that you gave up to CTE, so they were accommodating on how that piece worked. So they were pretty excited on, how we got an innovative. And plus it on numbers too, with 250 kids in those 5 programs. That's pretty big.
And they still have a hard time getting over that there's stickers on some chairs and, only this kind of person can use that chair. I said, we don't deal with any of it. That was hard for some of them to fathom, so.
Any other questions for Bruce? Okay, thank you, Bruce. You want to do nominations in?
Yes, in non-public, we have some support staff, some co-curricular nominations, and a couple of resignations, and a couple of coaches that came in after we did all the main coaches the last time. So.
All right. Any other business? Okay, if no, do I hear a motion to go into non-public?
So moved.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Agenda review and disposition,
I'm all set, Madam Chair, as printed.
and we have the minutes for the June 19th meeting, the minutes for July 24th, and do we have non-public for June 19th also?
We do.
Did someone show that to me? So unless there are any corrections or amendments to those 3 sets, they stand approved as written. Superintendent's report.
Everything I have, Madam Chair, is contained within the committee reports.
And did Bruce have anything that you're aware of?
I think we've been all about construction, to be very honest with you, so I think if he has anything, I'm sure he'll speak up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Committee progress report, facilities.
Oh, that was,
Sorry, that's me.
oh, that's it.
All right, so we had an update on the CTE project. It's looking like November for completion, and we're making adjustments within the school. We had an update on trees on campus. Looks like 1.5 trees are going to be possibly removed in that ballpark. We talked about athletic parking and the adjustments within the parking lot for athletic events, and students are all complying and all. And then our next meeting is the 18th, since everybody was pretty much here for all of that. Kind of do the snapshot version.
Thank you. Any questions? Policy and budget.
Yes, we had a committee meeting. We approved the minutes of previous meetings. We had a update on the policies that we reviewed at our July meeting, being the policy to deal with drug and alcohol, which we significant changes to as a result of the fine work of Sam and his committee and several members of the administration here at the high school. Everyone was satisfied with the changes, and we are recommending it to the full board.
So all those in favor of adopting the drug and alcohol policy as revised, raise hands. Opposed and abstaining, so that passes.
The next item we took up was the athletic co-curricular participation policy. This again is a modification of what we have had for a number of years, and we reviewed it and made it blend with the new drug and alcohol policy, and we are recommending it to the full board.
So as recommended by the committee to adopt the athletic and co-curricular participation policy. In favor?
All right.
Abstaining or against, okay?
And we, our next meeting is the 18th of September, unless we are called by the chair earlier.
Any questions? Thank you. And program and staffing.
Okay, we met tonight as well, approved the minutes from June 19th. The principal gave us some updates on classroom locations during CTE renovations this fall. Health, autos, and culinary will be in different rooms for a temporary time until probably mid-fall. And then the marketing will be in the drafting room for a temporary part there. And ready for the first day of school will be the new media room with Mrs. McLean and the drafting rooms. The special ed transitions program will be in the north wing temporarily. Mr. Parsons noted that we'll need to adjust some schedules for the students as far as their room numbers will go after all that's done. Teachers come back next Wednesday, freshman orientation Thursday, and students start on the 4th. And then we went into non-public for support staff, co-curricular, and coach nominations, as well as a couple resignations. And that was it. Our next meeting would be September 18th, sorry.
Should we announce to the public the results of those votes on?
If you,
Yeah, let's go
there's
ahead
no
and
need to
do
go
the
back
votes
in
now,
and then come
coming
out.
from the
Sure.
board is-
Yep.
Okay,
Do you want me to? do
yeah,
that?
why don't we, since we're in,
So, coming from program and staffing are the following nominations. John Ringline as CTE aide, Diane Downing and Jared Potter as custodians, Elizabeth Beeson and Carrie Frost as special ed aides. The folks want to do all the nominations at once, or does anybody need
Barry.
to separate?
Move the slate,
Okay.
yeah.
Fall coaches, volunteer coaches, and co-curricular advisors, the slates as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstaining or against? And then we have 2 resignations, John Downing as custodian and Wendy Carrington as a special ed aide. All those in favor of accepting the resignations,
Aye.
Aye.
and it looks like that's unanimous too. Thank you. Any other business?
You are scheduled to have a meeting on Tuesday, September 4th. Other than a building update, there would be no reason to come. I think we're in pretty good shape until the 18th. I will contact the chair if that continues, and then we will get out to you that whether we need the meeting or we don't need the meeting. How's that? But right now, I don't, it's 2 weeks from today, and I'm not sure it'd be worth your while, other than a quick building update.
All right.
I think, Madam Chair, I was remiss in not indicating that we also took up the amended Plymouth Regional High School, what's it referred to as? Handbook, and we adopted that
Oh,
with some minor changes,
Yep.
primarily grammatical, except the 2 new policies that we just adopted will be incorporated, Bruce, into the new
Yes.
handbook. So the board should ratify the committee's action on that.
so coming from committee is
Yes.
the policy and budget committee is a recommendation to adopt the handbook as presented.
Correct.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And that again is unanimous. Okay. Any board member concerns?
Madam Chair, I have one more piece, if you don't mind. Sad news. Dr. Reitman passed away. Last week, Philip Reitman.
Oh, it's sad.
From Canada.
Yeah.
He was a Holocaust.
Dr. Reitman and Dorothy were here a number of times doing full assemblies. It's kind of unique in effect. I got a request from Holderness Prep, or a teacher from Holderness Prep that had seen Philip speak, and asked me if it would be possible. And my response, this was maybe about 8-9 days ago, and my response was that Philip doesn't travel anymore. He's 96 years old, and his travel days are over. I just said, I just need to put that call in. Let me just put a call in. I happened to call Saturday, my wife and I, and Dorothy gave us the sad news. Quite a tribute they had. She did send me all the newspaper pieces and hundreds and hundreds of people turned out, and, you know, Canadian ministers, you know, officials, dignitaries. I did speak to his son Larry, spoke to him. I called Paul, and Paul Floyd, as you well know, was originally our first contact person. And they had contacted Paul too, which was awful nice. So, you know, I'm gonna let time heal, hit a little piece here, and then come back to you with a few ideas we had, and remembrance of Phil, and, you know, I think he maybe 4 or 5 times. I mean, I know my age gets me sometimes, but he had quite an effect on this community. You know, and I know Paul. I spoke to Paul yesterday at Lent, and he told me that he let the record citizen know, so you may see a piece there. No one's contacted me or that piece, but again, you know, there's still pieces that the family's going through, and then I want to sit with Mark and maybe the staff, and you know, see what they would like to do too, come up with something, you know, that would remember that Phil Reitman is Plymouth Regional High School.
Bruce and I think the seniors, this coming senior class were freshmen when Philip was last here. So we think that those kids knew him. And if our recollection is right, Bruce and I will meet with the senior class and talk to them a little bit. Because he had a massive impact every time he came. And,
his book is still used in the social studies. Some of the social studies teachers use Philip's book when they're doing the Holocaust. And there's a big picture in there of Plymouth Regional High School. So, you know, he gives us some kudos in there, which is great. It was an honor to know him and to be his friend.
very, very special part of what we've done here over the years.
And didn't you give him an honorary
Yeah, we did.
degree?
We did.
Certificate?
We gave an honorary diploma. We never got a high school diploma. We did that. We honored the veterans, yep. We did that. That was unique. That was quite a year. Throw a curveball at him, that one.
It's the year that Bruce did a ceremony for a lot of veterans. Ross, you were involved in that. Yeah. That was a fun evening.
He loved coming in. He loved coming in.
Well, that is sad news, but thank you. Any other business? If not, do I hear a motion to adjourn? Ross, seconded by Phil. All those in favor? Thank you.